Hey everyone, welcome to Atenas Crochet. Today we're going to be making some really easy winter boot cuffs, so let's get started. So I'm working with 2 threads of yarn at the same time. You can also do this with just a thicker thread of yarn and just use one, but I'm using 2. So let's start with a slip knot. So you wrap the yarn around your fingers and you insert your hook into the center circle, grab some yarn and pull that through. And now we're just going to get this all tightened up. So there we go. And that's our slip knot. We're going to start chaining in multiples of 2, so just in even numbers. So I'll show you how to make a chain and then we'll talk about how long your chain needs to be. So just wrap the yarn around your hook and I pinch this little knot down here and you're going to pull your yarn and your hook through that loop. So yarn over and then pull it through your bottom loop and that makes a chain. So here's another chain and there we go. So just make a chain in even numbers and measure where you want your cuff, your boot cuff to go. So if you want it to go on the high part of your calf, measure that. So for me, that would be, I need a chain that's about 14 inches. That way it'll go all around my calf comfortably. But I'm going to make these a little bit smaller because I'm just going to make, they're for my shorter boots. So I'm just going to make a 9-inch chain. Count the number of stitches so that you make so that your second cuff is the same size. So I'm just going to chain this until I get to 9 inches and we'll go on from there. So I've made a nice long chain. I'm just going to go grab a measuring tape. You can use a ruler if you want to as well. And I am going to make sure that it is the size that I need. So I need this to be 9 inches and I'll just make sure that it's 9 inches. So I've got it all measured out and let's move on. So I'm going to pinch this very last stitch that we made. So just remember to count how many stitches you made or how many chains you made so you can make the same number of chains for your second cuff. So I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to make a double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you're just going to wrap the yarn around your hook and see these 2 chains that we made? We're going to skip them. So we're going to go to the third. So it's the third chain from your hook. Insert your hook into that stitch and yarn over, and you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. So we yarn over and pull through 2 of our loops, and then we're going to yarn over again and pull through our last 2 loops. So let's do this again. So we yarn over, go into our second stitch, we're going to insert our hook into the stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and we yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And this is called a double crochet. You're going to need to make a double crochet in every stitch of your chain until you get to the very end of the chain. So I'll make a couple more here really slowly just to show you what it looks like, and then I'll see you at the end. So I got to the end of my row and I made a double crochet in every one of my stitches. So I'm just going to pull this a little bit to clean it up a bit. Alright, so for our next row, we're going to start with a chain 2. So I will just hold my work right here and chain. So wrap my yarn around and make 1 chain, wrap around and make 2 chains. Now we turn our work around and we're going to start crocheting in the other direction. So now we're going to be working with our posts. So this is the post and we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into our first post. So here, these are the stitches. I should probably show you these real quick. So these top ones are the stitches. We're not going to be working on the stitches. We're going to be working with the posts because we're going to be making front and back post double crochets. So they're worked very similar to a double crochet. You just have to work with a post instead of a stitch. So you're going to push a post either forward or backward. So let me get set up again. All right, so we're going to wrap the yarn around our hook like you do with the normal double crochet, and you're going to go to your very first post, which is this one right here. This one. You're going to insert your hook behind the post. So see, I inserted the hook straight through the back, and then just go into the next space, push the post forward. Now we grab our yarn, pull that through the post, and we're going to finish our double crochet like we normally would. So yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a front post double crochet. In the post next to it, we're going to work a back post double crochet. So wrap your yarn around your hook, insert your hook from the back towards the front, and you're going to push your post backward this time. So we've pushed the post back, we wrap our yarn around, and we pull it through. And now we just finish our double crochet. So I'll show you a couple more of each. So now we're going to make a front post double crochet because we're going to alternate between front posts and back posts. So I'll go into my next post, which is this one right here, and I'm just going to yarn over, insert my hook from behind the post, and I'm going to push the post forward. So make sure you're working with the post and not the stitch, because you won't be able to push post forward if you're working a stitch. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to work a back post, so yarn over, and let me grab this a little better. There we go. Okay, and we're going to come in from the back part of our work, insert our hook towards the front, push the post back, and now we're just going to pull our yarn through and finish up our double crochet. So the next one is a front post double crochet. And then we have a back post double crochet. And then a front post, and so forth. So it's going to create this ribbed look. So it's a nice clean ribbed look, and it looks really nice on the cuffs. So I'll keep working a front post and back post double crochets until I get to the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row, and I've got one last post, and it's kind of hidden back here. It's a lot easier to see when it's right in front of you, but I'm looking through a camera lens, so it's a little difficult to see it. So I'm just going to work my post. So it's going to be a front post double crochet. And then we're going to make a double crochet in this little chain space. So you see this chain space that's right next to this post? We need to make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert a hook into that space, and then just finish off our double crochet. And that's going to keep our work even. So if we don't do that, one of our sides is going to start to get, or I guess the sides will both start to get smaller, and we'll end up with a triangle. So now we chain 2, turn our work around, and we're just going to be extending all of our posts. So see how we have our front posts are very clearly visible right here in the front because they kind of stick out. And then you've got your back posts are right back here. They also stick out, but towards the back. So if your first stitch is a back post double crochet, which it should be, you're going to make a back post double crochet. So I'm going to push that towards the back. There we go. And we're going to close off our double crochet. So remember, I made my chain in even numbers. So my first one, my first post in this row is going to be a back post double crochet. If yours is a front post double crochet, don't worry about it. Just work it as a front post double crochet. So here, I'll make a front one just so you can see. So this next post is a front post double crochet. So there you go. I had to clean that one up. See how it's our front post? So we're going to go in here at the top, and we're going to work a front post. So work a back post double crochet in every back post double crochet from the previous row, and a front post one in every front post from the previous row. So just come here through the top, push our next post back. That's a back post double crochet, and finish it off. So I'm going to keep working the front and back post double crochets for this row, and I'm just going to keep extending this. Just keep working this pattern for as wide as you want your cuff to be. So normally I make my cuffs about 3 inches or so, at least 3 inches high, so that way they'll stay tucked into my boot. So that way when I walk around they won't pop out, because anything smaller than that is just a little too small for me. So see how it starts to look really nice and ribbed, and it's really nice and thick too, so it keeps you super cozy. So I'll keep working this for a couple more inches, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a bit. So I worked a few more rows, so this is what it looks like, and I made a total of, what is it, 3 1/4 inches about. So that's how wide I want my cuff to be. So I'm just going to get this thread over here. There's my hook. Excellent. Okay, and we're going to line these up because we are going to, you can either sew these or you can crochet them together. So that's up to you. If you prefer to sew them together, go for it. I'm just going to crochet them together. So just line up your edges and make sure you get the right edge here on the side, because you can get confused and end up getting one of the posts instead of the actual edge. So insert our hook, grab our yarn, and then I'm just going to pull the yarn through like a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull that all the way through. So hold on to both edges at the same time and make sure that when you're making your single crochets, you're going through both sides. So just insert my hook, yarn over, and pull through both of my loops. So insert the hook in both sides, grab my yarn, so there we go, pull that through. So I have my 2 loops, and then I yarn over and go through both loops. That's called a single crochet. So we're going to make a single crochet all the way down our cuff. So it doesn't have to be completely perfect, just space them out as evenly as you can. Remember, you're using this to sew the boot cuff closed. So you also can skip this if you prefer to close it off with a button, in which case just cut a bit of a tail, leave about maybe 2 inches worth of yarn, and then cut. And that way you can sew it in, just weave in the end, whether you want to just knot it up and just kind of tug it in, or if you just want to weave it in, you can do whatever you prefer. And that way you can attach a button to it. But I'm just going to make these really simple, really plain. So I'm just going to stitch these up, and we got my last stitch over here, line up my corners, make my last single crochet over here, and I'm going to grab my scissors, leave a somewhat nice long tail, about 2 inches or so. Let's cut that there, and just grab a needle. Any needle that you can fit your yarn into works. I like to use tapestry needles, but you can use whatever needle you like. So I'm just going to pull the yarn out of this loop right here, get that nice and tight, and thread my needle. So now I'm just going to weave in my ends. So I like to kind of sew in a bit of a square pattern, and that way I know that when I wash my project it isn't going to become unraveled. So I'll do one side, and then I'll go in the other direction, and then I'll go back up, or back in the other way. So I'll do this a few times, and then I will just hide the tail end. See now that I have a really tiny tail end. So I'll just kind of pick a side and then just weave that through. So I'll push my needle in as far as I can go. There we go. And that's all hidden. So that's it. That's how you make a really quick and easy boot cuff. I think one of these took me maybe, crocheting really slowly too, I think it was maybe 30 minutes. So you should be able to have both cuffs done in about an hour. So it's a quick and easy Christmas gift. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if this is the kind of stuff you like to learn about. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I am at mode.bespoke. I also have the blog, which I will link down in the description box below, so you can get all of the free patterns that I write. They're all, you can use them, you can share them, do whatever you want with them. So yeah, thanks for watching.